Hello everyone, this is Leimomi, Keliikuli, intuitive soul alignment coach here, and I wanted to make a video to kind of share about some basic things about really how to get back into alignment when you may be feeling that, like, why you may be sitting in a very itty bitty desk and you are still a six-figure business owner, but wondering how the hell did you get yourself in this your current situation with coaches who really haven't really helped you get the strategy that you need to get into your next level. And really the 3 steps that will help you to get back into alignment. And one of the things that I have been finding is there's a lot of people who have been experiencing these kind of disempowering situations. And I kind of want to share and give a little bit of a light as to why that is happening to you and how you can get out of that situation. So I'm actually a coach who really helps you to really find your unique strategy, your unique system and methods that really align to the way that your soul wants to show up in the world. And usually it's not really necessary based on a particular biz strategy. It's really basically based upon how your soul wants to show up. So I've been finding that a lot of people have been struggling with being able to discern what is good for you when you're especially around people or coaches who have in some way influenced the way that you perform and do things in your business. And it's really, really hard when you've created a contract or an agreement, or you've had something where you have to keep your promise to when you trusted these people in your life, or you've trusted it could be your family, it could be your friends, it could be coaches. But I really want to bring into light this topic because this actually coincides with soul alignment and why you need to actually align to your soul in order to get this clarity of where you want to go. And it usually is not what you're looking for when you're in this kind of situation. You've actually created a cage or a prison around you without knowing. So here's what I have found is, when we actually create our business, and when we are, when you are like at a level of maybe you're making 10K months or 20K months, and but there's this feast and famine effect happening where you're sometimes making money, making good money, and then sometimes you're not. And so when you're making good money, you tend to go hire other coaches or other people who you really, really admire, and you trust in them, and you pretty much what I have found is that you in some way have given your power away to another individual. And this is one of the biggest problems as to why you may have gotten into that situation, because you may not have known what is your superpower, what makes you unique, and makes you the person that your ideal soulmate client wants, right? And so when you haven't had the time to really get into your deeper purpose and see what your gifts are all about and how that helps people, and really get into your why first, you actually end up creating and attracting people who may try to teach you how to do things and the what you need to do. But if it's not really aligned to your soul, it's not going to work for you. And so if you're in a situation where you've kind of created some kind of prison or some kind of cage around you unknowingly, and your business may be doing good, but you have this up and down effect of sometimes having amazing abundance and nothing at all, it has a lot to do with your ability to have the right success mindset to keep going for the long run. And when you're missing success mindset and this ability to expand into what your soul purpose is, you can get really stuck in creating circumstances and situations where you don't feel like you're the boss anymore, right? You don't feel like you are creating the business that you actually wanted. You actually created a whole like 9-to-5 job again, where you're working 40 to 60 hours, a week, or you're, creating this kind of business where it's like a launch after launch, right? You're throwing out a new product and you make good sales, and then the next month you're just exhausted, right? And so when you are at this level, you actually need to do a lot of internal success mindset work and really expand yourself to your next level in a way where it's not too much. Because when you are going after really, really big goals, like for example, you've made 6 figures in your first year in business, or you've made, that within 2 years, you have to remember that you've expanded yourself a lot, so you're going to experience the contraction at the same time. And so it's like a rubber band effect. If you are expanding too much and you're not really taking care of the platform and the things that needs to get set up, right? Getting the help you need from your team, you're going to get a lot of contraction. So when you are actually in a situation where you actually have to, quit a mastermind or quit some coaching that you're doing with somebody that you really feel has been guiding you in the wrong direction, it is so important for you to really, really connect with your unique superpower, your unique energy of what I call is the energy of your soul. It's the specific energy that people get from working with you. When you really, really activate this superpower within you and you have this clarity, then your actions will be congruent to your soul purpose and your specific path. But you can't really see your full soul purpose and your path. And even if you have been going towards it, you can actually go down the wrong path, meaning doing, business aligned to a different kind of business model that is based on the wrong superpower. And so when you're trying to give and give value, you're working 10 times harder or 5 times harder, you feel exhausted and tired, and it feels like you're just running and sacrificing your time freedom so that you can do the next thing and next thing so that you can create stability. This actually effect has to do with you have to set up your mindset tools that will allow you to up level, but in a way where it is kind of strategically placed so that you can do each level that you need to, right? If you're up leveling too fast or not up leveling at all, you're going to have this kind of contraction and expansion over and over again until you figure out how your soul wants to show up in the world, right? How your soul wants to create your soul purpose, the platform that you are able to attract your soulmate clients to you for, right? So here's the 3 steps to really finding the best way that will get you back into alignment when you've kind of put yourself in a cage or some kind of situation like this where you have, your current coaches or people who are giving you the wrong strategies that hasn't really gotten you to your next level because you in some way or some form have attracted actually that particular person, that particular place, that particular thing because you devalued your own self and your superpower, okay? So the key to getting back into alignment is you really, really need to start taking action towards your superpower, towards what the energy of your soul is. And when you start coming from a soulful place, people and places and things that were not aligned to you, they can actually disappear. And what I mean by this is you actually end up creating circumstances where they just are no longer the right vibration for you, so they kind of like eliminate themselves. So that's really the first step, is actually you need to recognize that you made a mistake, that, this is the wrong thing that I did, you created and this experience and attracted the wrong people to you because you were doing your wrong superpower, because you were communicating from a place of lack or scarcity, right? That really is not what your soul's gift is about. So the first step is you have to start aligning to your unique energy of your soul. And it could be simply just you know, showing up differently. Like, you know, you're meant to be speaking and writing more. So you would write more on your blog post, or, you know, write more in guest blogging, right? Write a book or things like that, because those specific steps where you are marketing in a way that's so aligned to you will also actually kind of push away the wrong people, because you need to actually start taking aligned action to that specific energy of your soul, your superpower. And then these people actually, places and things, like they don't no longer have access to you, because you don't actually give that other energy that you thought you needed to give to them. Usually you have some kind of gift envy or some feeling like you have to give. And this will deplete you and drain you. And this is the #1 cause as to why you don't feel good and fulfilled, and you're attracting these coaches and these, you know, not really good nightmare clients, right? And you're working harder and harder to keep yourself at the level that you're at. So the key to getting back in alignment is look at what actions you're taking. And those actions really aligned to your superpower, aligned to your soul. Okay. Then the second step is, you know, gaining clarity of this bigger version of yourself, your big goals. What does that look like? What would you feel like when you have achieved that particular level? And you actually have to start taking action towards this bigger level, so that you also will be expanded, and you will be activating, you know, your soul's gift, your particular superpower, and then bringing them all together so you can see the correct way, the correct path that's most aligned to you, and that it brings the most abundance to you, right? So when you have that particular goal, like for example, like a money goal, or you know, a particular relationship, or you know, something that you particularly want, that specific goal needs to be super clear as to why you need that and why you want that right now. Because usually when you are stuck in this situation, your current situation, you have kind of lost your bigger goal, or you have the bigger goal, but you've been so in the chaos with this other coach and this other person that you kind of like have forgotten the direction, because you're following somebody else's path, somebody else's strategy, somebody else's way of doing things, right? So when you get into alignment, into yourself first, then you need to align to this goal, this clear goal of what it is that you wanted in the first place. Because usually when you're getting misaligned, you're getting pulled away from your original ideas, your original way that you wanted to do things, right? And it's so easy to follow somebody else's strategy that's really not aligned to you, right? So making sure you're lined up to what your heart and your soul wants to create, and the bigger vision goal, is really the key to keep going. Because what happens is, if you don't have that key goal, like you get tired, you get fatigued, you forget what you're doing, right? You actually go on a harder path, or I call that like the gremlins start to come out, because the gremlins told you that you should go on this path, and you thought it was a shortcut, but then it ended up being a whole manipulation of, you know, swamps and like booby traps and things like that, that you're like, what the hell, how did I get on that path? So what happens when people, places, and things are moving you away from your soul purpose and your superpower, you actually have to get back to that clarity of why the heck did I get there, and what will I need to do to remember where I was going, right? Because it's like you have amnesia, or they hit you in your head and you're like, I don't know what I wanted. That's really how confused you can get when you go on the wrong path. So the goal at that level is you have to work out the mindset issues, the deeper issues as to why you attracted this person, why you ended up in this circumstance, right? And it's usually because you're not aligned to who you are at soul level. You're doing somebody else's gifts. You're doing somebody else's purpose. And so it never fulfills you. It never really fulfills anybody else, right? Or whatever clients that you work with, because they will feel it. They will feel it energetically, right? So when you're on the wrong path, you actually have to know what direction to go, right? So the bigger goal is really important, which tells you the kind of the direction of the path. But the third step is you actually have to do what you're afraid of. So usually your coach or somebody else that has given you some advice, they usually give you advice towards their own path. So you have to actually question what path they gave you, right? Because you already know it and you feel it anyway, right? Because it just doesn't feel good. It feels like you're working really hard. You actually need to do the thing that you probably thought was going to work, right? But you didn't do it because this other person told you to do it, right? Told you to build a funnel, or told you to build this elaborate campaign or something like that, whatever strategy they gave you, right? And you know it in your heart that that's not the way you want to show up. So you have to actually do the thing that you're really resisting. And what you're actually resisting is usually something the most easiest, the beneficial way that you feel fulfilled. So for example, like you could be writing and, writing and, trying to create blogs and trying to create value posts and trying to create like these memes and all these kind of things. But like your soul doesn't really like want to show up through writing. And so what happens is when you're doing, this kind of way of expression that's not aligned to you, you start to create chaos, and other people around you start to see that like, oh, I can go and get her, right? Because she is like playing small. She's not being really herself. So I'm going to go after her and get her. Or even narcissist starts to happen, actually. They start to attract towards you. And the reason is because you're not aligned to your superpower. You're aligning to the wrong superpower, right? So, and you're actually aligning to any of your life challenges. So you're bringing in the wrong people to you. So the goal is at that moment is you have to address the fact that, yes, I made this bad choice of doing all of this writing, and it's like, I hate it. I hate it to the core. I don't want to do this. And you have to respect the feeling in your heart, which is usually, oh no, I would rather speak. I would rather get on a live stream and just talk it out. I would rather, just share from my heart what feels good by being on video or by making an audio recording or something like that, because speaking really helps you to get your thoughts together, right? So these kind of simple things you have to look at, like, why did you create those strategies based upon other people's success? And usually, again, it's a thing that you're resisting. So you're resisting getting in the live stream because you're afraid of what you look like, right? So maybe it's, you just need to dress up and, get in front of the mirror and keep talking in front of the mirror until you actually can push that play button of the live stream, right? Whatever you know that works for you, you actually need to do it right now. So what feels good to you, what you're resisting, go and do that. That's the third step, right? So first step is align to your superpower, align to the energy of what you know your soul is by taking action towards that particular energy. Then you need to align to the bigger goal. What is the exact goal and the success mindset that you need to create to get there? And usually when you're aligning to a specific goal, all the things that are blocking you, right, they start to show up, right? They start to like money stops, or relationships starts to get chaotic in your personal life with your spouse or your children or things like that, right? They all start to come to you in chaos because it means you're not in alignment. You're not doing the way your soul wants to do it. And that's the third step, is take that action that you have been resisting, that you know that's going to work for you. And as soon as you do that, your life completely shifts. And the people and the places, things, they actually just start to fall away. Like, seriously. So I had this experience because my soul was meant to talk and connect and to speak, and get on video and do these kind of things. And for the past like 2 weeks, I was really trying really hard to write, because I would have to write my book, and I had bigger goals that I wanted to do. And I realized that for the past like 2 to 3 weeks, like I have been just typing on my computer away, writing in my book, journaling a lot, and they all felt good because I was using a new kind of expression. But like the more I did it, the harder my content started to come out of me. Like it was like I was stuck. Like I couldn't get the words out. When I did write it out, it looked kind of weird to me. It just got worse and worse, and then I really lost my voice of what I wanted to share. So this is why I decided to talk about this kind of thing, because when you're doing something that's not aligned to you, you actually create more hard work. Takes you longer to create what you want, and it takes you longer to actually create the content, the value, and things that you want. And you actually confuse your audience in the long run, right? So I knew in my heart that the best way to get to my next level was to again start speaking on video, doing my LeimomiTV, and talking to people and connecting to people, talking one-on-one with people, meeting them in person. And so I started actually doing that, and then the chaos completely stopped. It was so amazing. So I learned a really big lesson here. Is when you start doing somebody else's alignment, their own strategy, you create the chaos. It's not because of them, but because you didn't feel that the way you wanted to do is more valuable. And that is the key to get yourself out of this cage, right? You've got this itty bitty desk that you've created. Even though your business may be flourishing, you have created circumstances of where everybody else gets the benefit but yourself, right? So it's a very deep self-love issue and a success mindset issue. So you actually need to start to do that inner work to uncover why you've created this kind of blocks in your mindset, blocks in the way you want to show up. Because over time, you're going to confuse yourself and actually confuse your audience at the same time. So I hope that enlightened you and help you to think about what you need to do to get out of your current situation, because it's very simple. Align to your superpower, align to your big vision goal, and take action that's based upon the way your soul wants to show up. And you will notice a huge difference and a shift in the way that people respond to you, people engage with you, and even the people that are not aligned to you anymore, they actually just disappear. And I actually experienced this after I had my huge misalignment. I guess 2 months ago. And then when I finally started to do actions that were aligned to my soul, because it was just very simple stuff, then I manifested amazing things, manifested my house, manifested amazing media opportunities, manifested more than 20K, because I was doing what felt good for my soul to show up. So if you have any questions, feel free to put in, at the bottom of the video. And also, if you want to keep in touch with me, join my Soul Alignment Leaders for Conscious Living, where we can, communicate with other people who are also believes in soul alignment and aligning to their superpower. And also, if you haven't really gone to my website, actually, I have a new frequently asked question page, because people have been asking me very basic things, and so actually I put it on my website. So you can go to my website, www.LeimomiKeliikuli.com, and also there's a quiz, Discover Your Business Gift quiz, if you haven't taken that yet, where you can get an idea of maybe what your business gifts are and what your superpower may be. But again, it's based upon what you resonate with, and it's based upon what you think you are. So the only way to know for sure is I can actually read in your Akashic records and to find out what exactly is the energy of your soul, so that you know what to align to your superpower, and so that you can see your soul purpose and your path. And yeah, so if you guys have any other questions, feel free to ask, and I hope you all have a beautiful day. Aloha.